Let me say something that might make a few parents uncomfortable, but it needs to be said. Your child isn't afraid of failing because they're weak. They're afraid of failing because they've been trained to be. And society is very, very good at it. In today's video, I want to go deeper than the usual failure is good motivational quote. We're going to talk about how society actually installs fear of failure in kids, why fear of failure doesn't protect them, it limits them, what fear of failure actually turns into as kids grow up, how to dismantle it properly, not just talk about it, and what sport looks like when a child truly isn't afraid to fail. If you're a parent who wants your child to be more confident under pressure, not just confident when things are going well, this is essential. Fear of failure isn't natural. Kids are born curious, experimental, messy, bold. Watch a toddler learn to walk. They fall hundreds of times and never once say, maybe walking isn't for me. Fear of failure is a learned behavior. Here's how society teaches it. Number one, worth is attached to outcomes. Very early, kids learn good grades equals praise. Winning equals attention. Being selected equals approval. And unintentionally, they learn the inverse. Losing is disappointment. Mistakes is embarrassment. Failure equals something is wrong with me. The brain starts to link performance with identity. So instead of I failed at something, it becomes I am a failure. That's not a mindset issue. That's an identity threat. Number two, adults try to protect kids from discomfort. This one is subtle but very, very powerful. When kids fail, adults often rush in to explain it right away. Blame it on the coach, lower expectations, remove consequences. The message isn't spoken, but it's felt. You're not capable of handling this. And when a child doesn't experience recoverable failure early, they become terrified of the irreversible failure later. Number three, comparison culture has gone nuclear. Social media, rep teams, rankings, highlights, scholarships, kids are constantly measuring. Am I ahead or behind? Am I good enough yet? Am I failing? Am I falling off? This turns sport into a judgment arena, not a development arena. When kids are watched, heavily watched, measured, and ranked, their nervous system shifts from the learning mode to self-protection mode. And self-protection never produces performance. Fear of failure doesn't make kids try harder, it makes them play safer. And safe doesn't win games. Safe doesn't build leaders. Safe doesn't create resilient adults. Here's what fear of failure actually does. Number one, it shrinks behavior. Kids stop taking risks, trying new skills, asking questions, being creative. They don't fail less, they attempt less, which means their ceiling quietly lowers every year. Number two, it hijacks the nervous system. Under fear, the brain prioritizes survival over performance, survival over thrive. So instead of decision-making, awareness, adaptability, you get overthinking, freezing, emotional shutdown, playing not to mess up. That's why some kids look amazing at training and then disappear on game day. Number three, it creates approval-seeking athletes. Kids begin playing for acceptance, not mastery. They ask, will coach be happy? What if I get subbed? What will people think? This leads to fragile confidence. High when praised, destroyed when criticized. And that doesn't just affect sport. It follows them into school, relationships, and work. This is where most advice gets wrong. You don't remove fear of failure by saying, failure is good. You remove it by changing the meaning of failure at an identity level. Here's how. Number one, separating identity from outcomes. Kids need to learn performance is feedback, not the verdict. That means losing doesn't mean you're less valuable, being cut doesn't mean you're not capable, making a mistake doesn't mean you're behind. Parents and coaches must model this with language, especially emotionally. Number two, reframing failure as information, not emotion. It's feedback. Failure should answer questions, not trigger shame. Questions like, what didn't work? What skill is missing? What decision needs upgrading? Emotionally charged failure equals avoidance. Information-based failure equals growth. Number 3, we need to teach young athletes to tolerate discomfort. Confidence doesn't come from success. It comes from, I can survive discomfort and still show up. Let kids sit in disappointment, process frustrations, reflect without rescuing them. That builds emotional strength, not fragility. Number 4, reward courage over outcome. We need to praise effort under pressure, trying something hard, responding after mistakes. This tells the brain risk is safe. And when risk feels safe, performance skyrockets through the roof. This is the part that parents really need to hear. An athlete without fear of failure plays freely, communicates confidently, takes responsibility, adapts quickly, leads under pressure. They don't collapse after mistakes. They don't avoid accountability. They don't need constant reassurance. They trust themselves. And here's the irony. Kids who aren't afraid to fail less over time because they learn faster. Not because they're protected, because they're prepared. Fear of failure isn't keeping kids safe, it's keeping them small. If you want your child to thrive in sport and in life, don't ask this. How do I help them avoid failure? Ask, how do I help them handle it themselves? Because the goal isn't confidence when things are going really well. The goal is confidence when things aren't going well. If this video helped you as a parent to see and reframe failure in a different way, please subscribe. It goes a long way in helping us because this is what we actually focus on every single week, and we want to help get the message out and help support young athletes like your own, building resilient, confident athletes from the inside out.